In today's video, I'm going to be looking at a Weltron PS804 AM/FM tape player. Of all the models made by Weltron, the most common one that I've seen is the 2001 Boomball. I have one of those, and at some point I'm going to get into that one as well, though I understand it's difficult to repair. This one I don't know anything about, and I'm going to learn along with you. Let's take a look at it before I test it and then open it up. There is a volume control with left and right, so it's stereo. There's a tone control for bass and treble, all built into one. For whatever reason, they put the on-off switch on the tone control, not on the volume control. I don't know why, but they did that. AM/FM tape selector. A tuning knob for the radio, and it looks like it is working, at least mostly. Battery level indicator if you run it off batteries, and we'll get to that in a moment, not yet. Looking at the tape player, this unit plays 8-track tape. That was a format that was big in the 60s and into the 70s. It had the advantage of running the tape faster than cassette, but it had the disadvantage of being a continuous loop, so it could never be rewound, only fast forwarded. The tape goes in there. It's a big cartridge. The way you change the set of tracks is by this button labeled channel. On this side and on this side are speakers, and the speakers can come out. There's a RCA plug in there, an RCA jack over here, and the wire is cleverly wound on this bobbin so it doesn't get all tangled up inside. I don't know how long it is. It's probably 2 or 3 feet. I don't know yet. And yeah, just a press fit. The same on the other side. There's a piece of Velcro. That's what sticks it in. Which should hold it in, but isn't completely, at least not yet. On top there's a handle. I understand these pieces get lost. Mine is intact. It's quite a robust handle. It's not exactly light. There's an antenna, which again is thankfully intact for picking up stations from far away. On the back, push it down. This reveals a plug that plugs into your cigarette lighter, or accessory outlet as it's now called. Line cord for AC. And inside there's a tray that just slides out that holds 8 D-size batteries. Fortunately not leaking D-size batteries. And a switch which lets you select between car 12 volts, DC 12 volts, which would be this, and AC 117 volts. These stuffed back in here. There's a schematic on the door, though it is really quite tiny, but it's a schematic nonetheless. At the bottom there should be a metal plate here with specifications or just some identification. It obviously was glued on and it fell off. I can find a picture and get it printed onto a piece of plastic and have something there instead, not just empty holes which were not used. This is for headphones. Yes, that looks big. That's a 1/4-inch phone jack, which is what they used to use, not 3.5 millimeter or 2.5 millimeter used today. On the bottom we have 6 screws, which I assume hold the guts to the enclosure. I have no idea because I have never seen a service manual for this unit. I suspect the tape machine needs a new belt. This was not silver, and I may be able to repaint it or cover it so it doesn't look so worn. Let's test it, find out what, if anything, it does. So let me turn it on. Right now it's on AM.
Listowel Kia today. ListowelKia.com. And
so AM works quite nicely. Let's try FM.
Connor McDavid says he's still taking his time working through a potential contract extension with the Edmonton Oilers.
That works as it should. Let's try tape. Yeah, I'm getting hiss and maybe a little bit of 60 hertz hum, which would be failing filter capacitor. It registers that the batteries are full. It's actually just measuring the voltage. It's not that there are any batteries in there. Can I change the channel? Yes, I can. But the track 1 light is dead. Let's see if I can find an 8-track tape. By happy coincidence, I happen to have some 8-track tapes. I have no idea whether they work. Now, I won't be able to play much of it because I don't want to get a copyright strike for playing somebody else's music. I hear something. Volume's up all the way. Well, I bet you the tape is not moving, which means it's the belt. Let's turn it off. Yeah, that was the motor. Now I know what it looks like on the outside and what to look for on the inside. Let's take the speakers out. This appears to be an FM tuner, the big juicy capacitor on it. 1000 microfarads at 10 volts. And these 2 cups will have to be removed. Let's put it on its face. This antenna here is holding us in. The antenna on my PS804 refused to unscrew. It's possible that the manufacturer used Loctite or lacquer on the threads on the antenna mount so it wouldn't unscrew by accident. Whatever the case, there was no way I could loosen the antenna. I did eventually get it. I used a heat gun to heat the top sections of the antenna just to the point where it was too hot to touch. Then I collapsed the antenna so that the heat was conducted to the threads. After doing that a few times, I was able to get my fingers into the case and start turning it. It was tight at first, but it eventually loosened. There isn't much room to get your hands in, so if your antenna is stuck, you may end up scraping your hands in a few places like I did. This was actually very difficult. It took at least 10 revolutions of the antenna, of course counterclockwise, to get it to come out. I mangled my hand a little bit too. The meter is actually still attached to the front, Are these disconnects? No. They may have to be cut, or I don't know yet. Okay, the antenna, the loopstick antenna is caught on the top. Yes. It's out. So yeah, it's out, but you have to be careful. These wires go to the meter. And now I can look at the bulbs and maybe spray some cleaner into the controls. But I have to measure the belt because I don't think I have this size of belt. First thing I'm going to do is cut these wires because I'm going to install a quick disconnect on them. I suppose I could desolder it and resolder it, but it's just going to be easier to install disconnects later. And that allows me to take the case away. Nice. And yes, it is wood, but it's covered with genuine 1970s MacTac. Self-adhesive wood grain vinyl. Oh, this is very cool. Everything is held on with screws. Maybe a little glue here and there, but screws. And you know what this is? This material here. That's the drive belt. Yeah, I think the drive belt needs replacing. Here's what is left of the belt on the flywheel and on the motor. You can see why not much was happening when I put in a cassette. It turns freely, but it can't turn because the motor is not connected to it. Now this is a bit of a mess. It will come off. It's gooey. That's typical. Sometimes it just turns into like a dried up insect, but most of the time it turns into a gooey mess. And I've seen a lot worse. This will have to be scraped off and then cleaned with alcohol or whatever solvent removes it. Then I can measure for a new belt. It looks like I can put on a new belt without actually taking it apart, which is a bonus. It doesn't look impossible, but it doesn't look like a walk in the park to remove the 8-track player. So with gently scraping with a fairly dull screwdriver, all the remaining belt is off the flywheel. It is stained a little bit, but it's not sticky in any way, so I don't think it's going to affect anything. Same thing was done to the motor. Unfortunately, whatever chemicals were in the belt corroded, actually ate right into the brass. Not that it's going to affect anything, but it's not beautiful. And the motor spins as it should. What I've done is I've attached a piece of dental floss onto the flywheel, and I'm running it as if it was actually the belt, which it is not, of course. And I'm going to mark that fairly taut. I'm not going to use a Sharpie because they tend to bleed. Just mark on both strings the length of the belt. Then I can measure it and then I can order it. But I also need the width, and I will measure that in a moment. Here's the stringing diagram, and I measure the belt as a flat belt about 30.8 centimeters, just over a foot, and about 1/4 inch wide.
I've ordered a Type FRX 12.0 belt for this machine, but it will be a few weeks before it arrives. As soon as it does, I'll continue this repair. I can't wait to get this machine working. Please click the thumbs up if you liked this video and subscribe to Mr. Brown's Basement so that you're notified when new videos come out. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you will join me for part 2.